Oh, how I just love me a trip down memory lane, folks. Even when I have no real memory of whatever the heck we're talking about here today. Yeah, sure, I know of these characters, and have even visited them in the past. But to truly sit down with them, learn their histories, and even hear their voices is something else entirely. So what started out as a fun 10 to 15 minute break for me is now here to hopefully entertain and intrigue you. So let's get to it. And we'll start with a very fun yet perplexing one, Frog WEBBER. Not too much is known about this abomination's true origins. However, the thing is about as unofficially official as an unimplemented character can get. For you see, way back in 2015, members at Clay Entertainment themselves were the ones to essentially publish this creation for all the hop on the workshop. And that was the idea, as Frog WEBBER here is just WEBBER with the added ability to leap with the walking cane in hand at the cost of hunger. Sadly though, the boy trapped in a spider, which somehow got stuck in a frog, can no longer jump onto our screens, as the mod itself is no longer working. Thus the unfortunate fate of a few of these characters to be mentioned today. But not the Pyro mind, the Pyro lives on. But hold up, Beard, are you telling me that at some point in time, Clay worked on and nearly finished an entire Survivor based on an entirely different game and almost released it? Yup, I sure am. Perhaps not the released it part, but I am gonna tell you that Clay had files for the Pyro, a Balloonicorn Chester, the Axe Extinguisher, the Lollychop, and even a flare gun to boot. Heck, I've heard that a lot of the art for the guy was present too, including his Pyrovision. But what was that about Pyro, or Wyro, if you do so please, living on, as I don't see him anywhere, Beard. Ah yes, you will have to turn your attention to the workshop once again for that one, my friends, as it is the community keeping most of these guys alive nowadays. And they're even keeping their voices intact, and they're gonna be voices that I'll hope to be sharing with you in full today myself. So give them a listen. Very nice, but I will warn you of this next one, as just like the character she would later become, Winnie is one heck of a screecher. But who is Winnie, you ask? Well, a shockingly prevalent survivor who sounds like her whole shtick boiled down to being a vegetarian shepherd of sorts. It has been widely known, too, that Winnie eventually became Wakefred, and one quick look is all you need to come to that conclusion at the end of the day. Interestingly enough, however, while Winnie is long gone, her impact on the early days of Don't Starve remain today, as her yawning sounds are still with us, as are the rest of her ear-bleeding beats, so I wouldn't blame you for skipping ahead at this point. But before we truly move on from Winnie here, I do want to say that out of all of these unimplemented characters, she is probably the one with the most amount of mods related to her, and some of them are quite recent too. Now I myself have never really covered her, which is a shame, but hey, we did go up and away with Winnie for a day or two, and that was fun. But if we are truly talking the long-lost survivors that are still sought after today, then I don't think anyone comes close to our bony pal, Wilton. And that's surprising too, as the OG reanimated skeleton has been around since the very beginnings of Don't Starve as a whole, essentially. So they have a tight grip on our lives, apparently, even if the same cannot be said of their own. Here's a cool story though. Wilton was planned to be the other potentially cursed half of Woodlegs, however the coding just wasn't there back in the day. Wilton has been showcased on this channel on multiple occasions, and is playable today through what you see here. So while the official pile of walking bones is dead, we can help him live on for eternity. Oh, and we can listen to his clickety-clack voice too, so enjoy it. But to wrap up our day today come the honorable mentions. Characters that have assets, sure. However, there are ones that really had no hope in seeing the light of day. Like Wallace here. All we got for the crazed looking man is that he's Scottish, has a skull, and has a voice that I'll be sharing with you in a bit. But there are some out there who took this wee bit of stuff and actually turned it into a full-blown survivor, so be sure to check that out, as you can see what could have been. Voice and all, mind, as it's actually kind of a long one. Longer than most. To continue though, Trisha has practically bloody nothing to share, even compared to Wallace, although we do know that she eventually became WEBBER, which is actually kind of interesting. She was also very Shipwreck specific, I guess, and was the one who was gonna bring Rawling to Shipwrecked if Clay didn't add them themselves. And that's also kinda neat, I suppose. And last, but certainly not least, Waverly the Witch. She also has practically nothing, but I don't care. I want my magic-using witch character right now, Clay. But there you have it, everyone. Just some extra fun here today, looking at all the unimplemented fun that we may never get to have. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all. I'll be sure to leave the link to all this if you want to do some more deep dives yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.